Road America a couple of weeks ago and rolls in here right now in the middle of a championship battle. He is 7th place in points, but trying to work his way up into the top 5 as well. Vergara has been very strong in the second half of the season for Exclusive Autosport. In front of him, the Skip Barber Racing School 2-time runner-up in their Formula Car Series, the Texan Joshua Lionel in the number 15 for D-Force Racing. A couple of great runs for Lionel as well. Another driver looking to try to get some more points here to cap off the season and maybe move up a couple of spots. He'll start 15th. Row number 7 on the outside, Timmy Carrell for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 8 machine. Carrell currently 10th place in points, but definitely with a shot at a good run here, moving up to potentially 9th or 8th, but he'll have to have a strong run here in the Fast Toys Racing Club machine. And again, alongside Carrell on row number 7, a fantastic run, his career best run of 10th position in the last race. Hudson Potter for Inter MS in the number 26, looking to cap the season off in style. And, of course, rolling then into off-season testing, looking forward to the 2025 campaign. Moving up to row number 6, I talked about Rodrigo Gonzalez, his brother, of course, back in the 17th spot. Rodrigo Gonzalez in the D-Force Driver Development number 20, scheduled to start 12th outside of row number 6. And on the inside, another driver to look for, currently 5th place in points. That is Jack Jefferson, the number 92, the Texan, and the Corpay machine for Exclusive Autosport will indeed be on the attack in that number 11. Roll up into the top 10 right now. Row number 5 starting on the outside. The number 18 is Brady Gold, 11th place in points. Again, another driver trying to fight his way into the top 10. The Texan for D-Force Racing, and the number 18 starting 10th. Alongside him, just 14 years of age, that is Christian Cameron out of Sonoma, California for VRD Racing. Cameron in the number 70 has had some big runs here in the last couple of races. Road America and Portland, another driver just on the outside of the top 10, currently sitting 12th. Could finish in the top 10 ahead of what will very likely be a full-time season once again in USF Juniors in 2025. Row 4, all Inter MS on the outside. Ariel Elkin in the number 25, 4th place in points. And alongside him, multi-time winner on the season. Both these drivers with multiple wins this year for Inter MS. Augusto Soto Sharipa, the Florida driver, in the number 24, starting in the 7th spot. Up now to row number 3 on the outside, Evan Cooley missed one race in the season, but still 15th in points right now. Very quick driver from Exclusive Autosport, the Illinois rookie in the number 91, set to go from that 6th position. He could be a driver to win here today. Also, Sebastian Weldon, currently 3rd spot in the points. The battle, of course, done for the championship, but not for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Weldon sitting 3rd spot in the championship in the VRD Racing number 98. He'll start 5th. Well, as we roll up to the second row, it will be Liam McNeely on the outside. 2 wins already on the weekend, trying to finish the season off in style. McNeely in the number 9 for Jay Howard Driver Development. 2nd place in points coming in. 11 points ahead of Weldon. They will be fighting for that spot in the top 3. Alongside them, a great run here. In fact, the drivers up front, the top 3, all put fresh tires on yesterday. Engines firing now on pit lane. They put when we were on the wets, they came late in the session and put dries on. It didn't help their position there, but they were able to turn fast laps. It has helped them here. They're going to start in the front 3 positions. Diego Gio from Zanella Racing out of Texas in the number 12. Going to start on the inside of row number 2. Those white, black, and yellow cars, very easy to pick out on the racetrack. In the front row, we'll see G3 Argyros on the outside in the number 63, the Jay Howard Driver Development pilot. But the driver on the pole position out of Florida, the number 55 of Leonardo Scorpione. Again, they rolled the dice, put sticker tires on those cars as the rain started to go away, as the track started to dry out. Very precarious for them. All able to go quicker on the very last lap when they finally got some heat into those sticker tires. That gave them a position to run up front. So Scorpione and Argyros on row 1. Gio and McNeely on row 2. Weldon and Cooley on row 3. Soto Sharipa and Elkin row 4. Cameron and Goal on row 5. Jefferson Gonzalez on row 6. Potter alongside Carrell on row 7. Lionel and Vergara on row 8. Gonzalez, Hoskins row 9. Yellen, Suko on row number 10. As we work our way around, we will go green flag the first time by if everybody is in position. I got a driver analyst today joining me up here, a driver who's already been on the racetrack. He's got one more race still to come. Hit that button and let's bring in the driver who has had such a good season so far and got better and better, Hudson Schwartz from Pabst Racing. Hudson, first time in the booth. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Let's talk about the starts here right now. Obviously, we have a ruling that you have to make the corner of turn number 2. You were the only guy to do that in the first race, in the raid race there, and led for a time. A minor miscue. You and I talked about it coming over here. You were leading. You had a big lead. but when the rain was coming, every corner you came to, you were the first guy there. There was more weather. You just said when you came into that corner and ended up spinning, going off track, that it was just no grip.
Yes.
Leaves a lot lesson before you. Walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, so it was a very good race. So I was leading for quite a bit, but it started raining a lot.
Yeah.
And it was the kind of first turn where the rain had started. So going into there, I went normal speed, and I was on the curb like I normally did, and I started to accelerate, and then from there it was just spun around, but thankfully got it back running, got it on track.
Yeah, you obviously had the speed in the ring. You powered back up to third. Give me your thoughts on what these guys are thinking right now before we come to green. Is it all about when to punch?
Yes, it's all about when to punch. You want the best start possible in order to get the draft down to turn one, trying to avoid the chaos, trying to understand where to put the car and where to find the exit, yes.
And there they are, folks, side by side, a Scorpioni and Argyros. For the last time in 2024 in USF Juniors competition, they have capped off the season. We'll finish it here in Portland. Drivers in position, nice and slow. The crawl to the line, and there it is for the final time. We are green, green, green in USF Juniors. The drag race down the line, a Scorpioni with a good jump. 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. They have to make the corner. Remember, they have to be to the right side of turn number 2. You can't cut the course. One driver's going to get spun around in the back. Someone got in the back. I think that may have been in the back of Evan Cooley. So indeed, Cooley contact sends him around. A driver who had so much promise on the weekend has had so much trouble. Cooley able to get it re-going again. He'll need a yellow flag sometime during this 15-lap race to be able to work his way back forward. We'll have a look at the spinner going around, but everybody else kind of settling in here right now. So indeed, everybody settling in, as I had said. Cooley from further back, another driver having more issues. That might be Timmy Carrera, and that looks like damage. You can see the right front up in the air, which would indicate damage to the left rear. The left rear squats. The front comes up with these very stiff platforms. So Timmy Carrera is not going to have any luck here. Full course yellow. So the drivers have been able to attack him. And another driver's gone off at the very start, full course yellow. That was the leader of Scorpioni, but we had already gone full course yellow. I don't know whether or not Scorpioni will be able to get a spot back because the full course yellow was already out and Scorpioni had gone off. So this is huge, number one. Okay, we're going to see how this plays out here right now. G3 Argyros takes the lead. We had gone yellow, but a Scorpioni drove off. I'm not exactly sure what the ruling on that is. Because he drove off, is he part of another incident? Will he potentially be able to come back and get his spot? That I'm unaware of. I'm the commentator, not race control. So Hudson Schwartz is with me here right now. We're going to give him a chance to see the replay. If we can get the start replay first, that would be the best. It looked like contact from behind. Not exactly sure who got into the back of Evan Cooley, but you've done this already twice, Hudson, two races here. It's tough when you're trying to get through one back over to the right side so you get to two. Hudson, let's have a look here at the start first. We'll walk him through this, and Hudson's going to give us a good look here.
Yeah, so it looks like he just got squeezed a little bit.
You see as they come into the braking zone, he's going to pinch down. It looks to be like one of the Inter-MS cars, I think.
Yes, yeah. So it looks like one of the Inter-MS cars just got him in the back, and around he goes. Yeah.
Hudson, there's really not much you can do at that point. You've got wheel in the car. You're at that point. Are you back to throttle, or are you still kind of rolling through the corner a bit?
You're back to throttle on a normal lap around the apex there, but when everyone's kind of going through, it's a big accordion effect, so it's very hard to kind of judge. So if someone hits you from the back, there's not really anything you can do.
So we also got a chance to see the off for Scorpioni there, and I have to believe, obviously the yellow was coming out. He's pushing hard. He's getting the opening lap. You're on cold tires. We'll come to that in a second. He tries to roll along speed through turn number 10, and just like so many people do, you transition through 10, you load to the right side of the car, and then you got to kind of flick it back around and transition that weight to the left side. We'll see it here again. Yellow flag is already out. Scorpioni had a big lead, but he just carries so much speed, Hudson, into turn number 11. I have to believe that you really have to kind of, that's a place where you have to really, yes. Are you on the brake hard into that corner at all? Or?
So you're on the brake going into turn 10, the fast left, but then you're getting on gas actually into 11, and it's very easy to go very wide there, and once you're on the grass, there's not much you can do.
So what do you think that was then? Was he on the throttle too early and too much?
Yeah, so it may be on the throttle a bit too early, but it all starts with your placing in the 10. If you just miss it, you get a little bit low grip, and then from there, the curb can shoot you out. It could be maybe he got on the throttle too early, but many things.
So it may not have just been 11, like you said, it may have been the transition to turn into 10.
Yes.
There you go. 15 years of age, I'm learning more stuff from Hudson Schwartz. I love it. Doing a great job with me here to start this race off. We've had some good run, and I'll tell you this, that was another great start through turns 1 and turns 2. They were able to get through cleanly. Only the contact from behind that we saw with one of the Inter-MS cars. Again, both Augusto Soto Sharipa and Ariel Elkin started behind Evan Cooley. I'd have to believe that was kind of the same Rosa. It may have been Elkin. Race control, I'm sure, with all the cameras they have around the track. We'll have a chance to have a look at what goes on here. Let's give you the rundown. They're saying that G3 Argiro is still the leader. That's who they're calling the leader. So Scorpione dropping down to P5 after that incident. Diego Guillo up into second. Weldon runs in third. Augie Soto Sharipa in fourth spot. Scorpione fifth. Liam McNeely goes back to sixth at the start. Ariel Elkin in seventh. Jefferson eighth. Christian Cameron and Hudson Potter ninth and 10th. Joshua Leonel runs 11th. Michael Succo in 12th. Griffin Yellen 13th. Patricio Gonzalez, I think he might have been the driver who almost got spun around as well. There was almost another spin, and the number of drivers had to check up. Evan Cooley, again, this benefits Evan in a huge way. He's got a race car that I think was fast enough likely to win in race number 2. Just did, and even I think he's probably quick enough to be up front in race 1 yesterday as well. But he's got a fast race car in the number 991, and this is going to give him a chance to fire his way back up to the field. JT Hoskins and Joao Magara involved as well. Joao all the way back into 17. So both those drivers who started further up having trouble watching Cooley and Magara to potentially hook up coming forward. We don't have any times now for Brady Golan, Rodrigo Gonzalez, and Timmy Carrell. We knew we had the incident for Carrell. We saw the damage there. We didn't get a chance to see the damage for Golan and Gonzalez. So I have to. Okay, so we're being told by our spotters that Brady Golan potentially stranded over in turn number 6. So not the finish to his USF Juniors career that Brady Golan wanted for sure. Another one of our drivers who did double duty here in 2024, running both USF Juniors and USF 2000. So you look a little further back where they were. Golan, Gonzalez, Carrell were essentially all 10th, 12th, and 14th. So they were all essentially on the outside of rows 5, 6, and 7, so right in the middle of it together. And Hudson, let's talk about the opening lap, because I don't think we obviously want to go green to checker, but we all know that the opening lap's the best opportunity to take advantage and make a pass. Things like this can happen. Yes,
things can happen. Everyone's trying to take advantage of the moment. Lap 1 is definitely the best place to move forward and to make passes. So everyone is kind of in an all-for-one battle. So it's very easy to get caught up in an incident.
So let's lean towards the driver development side, right? The concept of this series is for you guys to learn everything. On track, racecraft, social media, interviews, working in the PA booth.
Yes.
Like this, you get a chance to learn everything. One of the things that it's hard to teach, and I know you've learned this, you've done a lot of racing and karting, you came through the Lucas Oil School, you won the championship there, you ran half a year of juniors last year. You can't teach patience.
No, you can't.
But how do you do it? How do your coaches instill it, or is it something that you as a driver has to kind of come to grips with?
Yes, so it's very hard. Most drivers don't initially have patience, but you learn. So you make a mistake, and then you learn that maybe I should have been more patient here, maybe I should wait for the next turn, maybe I should have even took advantage here. So the only way to really learn is make a mistake, and that's what I've made some mistakes, and I've learned from them, and I've gone forward.
And you see that gap. You know, obviously there's the gap, the saying that is attributed to Senna about if you don't go for the gap, you're not a real race car driver, right? I think a lot of the young kids take that too literally, because a lot of times the gap will shrink up very quickly. But that's what it is. It's a situational awareness. You have to really understand, having raced a bunch of events, that is that gap really a gap? Is it going to, by the time I get there at lunge, is it going to close? Is there any grip when I go down to the inside? It's not a racing line. I'm diving down to the inside. Is that are those the little components of what kind of build patience?
Yes, those are definitely the components. So, you want to know where the grip is when the braking. So a lot of practice is very good for that. Testing the different lines, seeing the grip there. So that's something I always try to do. And then learning where the gap is good. So lap 1, there's 4 lanes sometimes before going into turn 1, and you can choose on the outside, brake later than everyone, or maybe go a little cautious, maybe go for the gap in the middle and really try to risk it. Sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not, but the most important thing is to learn from them. You never want to make mistakes and just not learn over them and just kind of dwell on them. You want to look forward and really,
I think a lot of that is track situational as well, track dependent. When you come to a track that you guys haven't been able to test on, you haven't been able to race on, is a race weekend enough for you to learn the intricacies of a track where you can make moves, or is it like really by the end of the week and you're like, oh, I'm just kind of figuring out how to race this place?
So it depends. Sometimes 2, 3 races. 3 races gives you a very good idea. 2 also as well. So the sim actually helps a lot with that. So before a race, I'll do many laps on the sim, so I kind of already have the track a little figured out. And I'm sure a lot of these drivers do that as well. So usually by the end of the weekend, I feel very good and very confident that I learned a lot, and I know the track like the back of my hand pretty much.
Yeah, listen, that's what we talk about, folks. Those of you who are around the track enjoying some action here in what is the ladder system, the minor leagues of the NTT IndyCar Series. Our goal is, of course, train these drivers through and get them into the Indy Next program so they can become future stars in the IndyCar program. And we try to teach them all different levels. It really is kind of a 2-year program, isn't it? You come in your first year, you learn the racetrack, you learn the competition at a different level, and then ideally you come back next year and you end up winning the championship. Is that your goal for next year? Obviously, you have one more race here to cap it off. Is that the goal for next year, to potentially make that move to the championship, running right up front, winning a bunch of races?
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of considerations for next year. Maybe Pro, maybe 2000. As you said, this year was a great learning year, and the year where you can kind of make mistakes and understand where to do things. And next year, I'm sure I'll come back much stronger, and I'll definitely be running up front a lot more consistent. But a lot of these drivers can do the same. Max Taylor, he had 2 years. I was his teammate last year. And you can see, last year was kind of a mistake year, and this year he's on it, consistent, and doesn't make any mistakes. So,
I couldn't agree more. This year, the transition from the impatient kind of Max Taylor to the driver this year who had full patience and was able to control his own destiny in a lot of races for sure. Working our way around our Honda Civic Type R pace car. One more lap around, I would expect. We'll see whether or not we're able to go back to green flag racing this next time. You saw in the background a lot going on there with the AMR IndyCar safety crew. So indeed, the lights are out. And again, pacing our field, as I said before, the beautiful new Honda Civic Type R pace car, the most powerful Honda production vehicle ever sold in the U.S. with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine producing an incredible 315 horsepower. It's awesome to have Honda on board with us, a great new partnership for the USF Pro Championships here in 2024. Schedule almost done for 2025 as well. Looking forward to seeing where we'll take these young drivers and which programs we'll be able to be part of. We know for sure we're going to be starting in St. Petersburg, always there at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Looking forward to that one. And of course, the off-season, a lot of testing done by these young drivers as if they stay in the same series or move up, whatever it may be, into that new car and learning more about the dynamics of the car they're moving to. More horsepower, more downforce, whatever it may be, more braking capabilities. Indeed, we are going green flag racing this next time. My name is Rob Howden, joined by Hudson Schwartz in the booth here for this show. G3 Argyros is going to lead him to the line when they come back around. Diego Guillo in second, Sebastian Weldon third, Agi Soto Sharipa fourth. Leonardo Scorpioni led him for the first time down the back straight over. A minor miscue coming through turn 10 and 11 set him off the racetrack from P1 back to P5. We're going to come to Hudson in a bit. We slow it down because that's the mental side of this game right now. He led, he made a mistake. That's when you got to bounce back. And we'll come to Hudson when we get back rolling because he was able to come back after that mistake he made. Not even really a mistake, caught out by the weather, but put your mind back in the right spot. Out of turn number 12, Argyros, quick little dart. You got to maintain your speed coming out of the corner. He'll get back on the throttle. Green flag flying here at start finish. Diego Guillo looking to take advantage of the long straightaway here down. Oftentimes the Polson are kind of a sitting duck. Everybody's coming. Hold on for turn number 1 if that's where you're sitting right now because it's going to get good. 3 wide coming into the corner. Oh, on the outside, inside. Little push there. Solid work. Guillo got the car rotated, but I believe one of the Inter MS drivers right in there. Soto Sharipa, I believe. Look at this scrap. Excellent job. Soto Sharipa moving into second. Third goes Guillo, and I think that maybe McNeely able to get himself up to P4. What a good start for McNeely. He goes ahead of Sebastian Weldon. Remember the battle like there, McNeely versus Weldon. Ariel Elkin potentially in the fight for third spot in the championship as well. Watch for the two exclusive Autosport drivers coming from the tail of the field. As I said, they were side by side coming out of turn number 7. And I think it looks like Cooley's dropped that spot with Vergara behind a big defensive run down to the bottom for Christian Cameron as they come out of turn number 9, the sweeping back straightaway to turn number 10. Oh, a couple drivers thinking about the inside. That's a tough place to make a pass inside of turn number 10. Because the car just intrinsically wants to go through and past the corner. You got to make that corner and come around with a lot of speed. It's not a 90-degree corner by no means. There we go. Let's get this opening restart lap back in the books and back to racing here right now. Jack Jeffers having a good run. He's in the middle of a scrap right now with a Scorpione and Gio. He's going to back out of that one. Gio's going to slide through. Jeffers going to try to go all the way around the outside. That was beautiful. Jeffers literally checked up as everybody else dove to the inside, over under them, and went around the outside. Jeffers got a couple of spots. He may be to P4 right now. Jack Jeffers up on the wheel in the exclusive Autosport number 92. Best we've seen him run here this weekend. Indeed, Jeffers moving his way forward here. A lot of drivers scrapping further back. One of the Inter-MS cars was slow as well coming out of turn number 2. Not quite sure who that was. Sounds like it might have been the 24 of Soto Sharipa. So again, he had made some good moves early. A lot of action here on the restart. Everybody digging. They're going to want to see where Cooley and Vergara end up getting. Cooley up to, I think, 11th on the opening lap. He was in full attack mode on that restart. Again, Cooley trying to fight his way back forward after getting spun around. I wasn't sure whether or not we didn't see a drive-through penalty. Did somebody go to the tail of the field? No, I don't know if we had a drive-through or not for the contact involved in the back, unless they asked the driver to drop back to the tail of the field. Jeffers now to the bottom of the racetrack trying to hold off a charging Diego Gio. Gio's going to go to the inside to make it work. Gio takes the spot away. Jeffers got to get back up on the wheel. Diego Gio to the inside to take the spot away from Jeffers. That's the fight right now for 4th. Jeffers back to 5th. Gio back up into the 4th position. That fight, though, allowing the front 3 drivers to get away. Argyros, McNeely, and Weldon. Jay Howard Driver Development runs 1-2 with G3 Argyros and Liam McNeely. Argyros with a big group here this weekend. The West Coaster trying to come home with a race win to cap off his USF Juniors campaign. I expect he'll be full-time at USF 2000 in 2025. So we'd love to be able to end it off with a race win. McNeely, his teammate, though, says, hey, I appreciate that. You want the victory, but I want to go 3 for 3. Oh, how about that? Side by side coming down the back chute. It gets tight coming through turn number 9. Wow, we were 2 by 2 a little further back there. There's Gio, Jeffers. I think Christian Cameron right beside them. I think Cameron able to get by a Scorpione on that last lap. This is further back in the pack. Suko, Potter, Elkin. Jeffers able to get back around, and look at this big run to the outside. Oh, Christian Cameron trying to take advantage. Wasn't able to kind of get it. Jeffers was able to get by Gio, who had to check up, and almost a full over-under for Cameron to the outside. There's a ton of action happening here right now. Hudson, let's bring you in really quickly because I want to touch back on that point. We talked about the Scorpione going off. You had the issue with the rain where you went off. What does it take as a driver mid-race? You can't come in and debrief. You can't talk to your coach. What does it take to get your mind back where it needs to be after a mistake picking you from the lead? Same for you, different situation. The same for a Scorpione. How do you get refocused?
Yeah, so pretty much by the next turn, I forgot about it, and that's definitely something that I've learned. Sometimes I'll get hung up on my mistake, and the whole race is just kind of a replay of that.
You're stewing in it, right?
Yes. So that race was just, I forgot about the mistake and head down, and I really only thought about it after the race. And that's something that I've really tried to learn, is just putting it aside.
And listen, that wise words from a young driver, just getting rolling here. And again, that's it. You have to put it behind you. If you think about it too much, you're going to make mistakes. And again, we have a new driver up front, and it is Liam McNeely. I talked about the fact that, hey, yeah, I know you're my teammate, G3. You got lots of time to win. This is for me. I want to dominate this weekend. Liam McNeely came in with a long shot opportunity to win the title. It really was in the hands of Max Taylor to do the stuff he needed to do to build the gap he needed to get the championship locked. But for McNeely, what do you do then? What's the second best thing you can do other than winning the championship? It's coming in, winning all 3 races of a triple header, putting that exclamation point, as I always talk about, on that season and try to go all 3 victories, cap off my juniors career, and look forward to 2025 in USF 2000. You saw that Sebastian Weldon was able to make a move as well. Weldon in the number 98 VRD car. He's able to as well get by, but look at this. Coming right back. Argyros doesn't want to give it up. Does he send it to turn number 10? He does not. Thought about it, though. Big gap back right now to Jack Jeffers, who has kind of locked himself into P4. You can see Jeffers has got some room. He's looking to cap off his juniors program as well. He'll go to 2000 racing in 2025. So many of these young drivers in this juniors category, that's what you come in here to do. You learn, you figure things out, you try to win some races, and then you move to the USF 2000 program. Hudson Schwartz did that last year, was able to get a podium finish early in his career, and then, of course, just getting himself dialed in to move to USF 2000. There's a big move to the inside. How about that coming across there? A little bit of a lockup. That was one of the Inter-MS cars, and I think it might have been Cooley and Elkin, or Potter and Vergara. I'm not sure. There's an issue there. That might have been Potter having trouble. He ends up going through the cutoff. We'll see what they do here with Hudson Potter, who I don't think was able to make the corner, unless that was Soto Sharif. I'm not going to throw a name because, again, those Inter-MS cars very similar. Different wing plates. The color of the wing plate, hard to pick up on the screens that we use here in our broadcast booth. So settling into the battles on the racetrack. McNeely, Weldon, Argyros with 2.5 seconds up on Jeffers. He's got a second on Christian Cameron. Cameron's got Scorpione, Cooley, Elkin, Gio right behind him. Another second back to Joshua Leonel in 10th. Patricio Gonzalez in the 11th spot. Michael Succo from the tail of the field, 20th all the way up to 12th. Hudson Potter 13th. João Vergara in 14th. Soto Sharipa 15th. Hoskins, Yellen 16th, 17th. Of course, Golan, Gonzalez, and Carrera out of the race on the opening circuit. You'll see a couple of battles here further back, some side-by-side action. Yeah, there's a defensive move down to the inside. I think that may have been a Scorpione trying to hold off Ariel Elkin, not able to get it done. And that's brought Evan Cooley back in here as well. So that's 6th, 7th, and 8th. Elkin with a good move to the inside. Book it. He is through. Put him to P6. Yeah, a couple of good 3-driver battles here. Here's another one here. 3 drivers fighting it out as well. Gio, and I think that's going to be Leonel and Gonzalez. Yeah, Joshua Leonel in the Skip Barber D-Force car, and Gonzalez the D-Force driver development machine. That is the fight, again, for 9th, 10th, and 11th. When you get a great field like this, again, drivers of differing experience, different talent levels, as they continue to learn here in the program, you're going to get these different pockets of drivers racing together. Not often are you by yourself on the racetrack. A lot of the times with the draft that you get these cars, you're going to be in some kind of a race group, as you're seeing here, a number of different groups. Let's talk about the move up from juniors to USF 2000. It's not a massive gap. It's 40 more horsepower, very similar race car. Again, just a different braking package. The braking's a bit different. The jump to USF 2000. Tell me about how well juniors trained you to be able to really get into the USF 2000 car and be quick out of the gate.
Yeah, so in juniors, it kind of prepared me, and I think that's what the series is so good for. There's many different levels, and they can all kind of prepare you for the next level. So juniors, it definitely taught me how to fight up front, and that was kind of where I learned how to make passes, assertive passes, and now going into 2000, I'm very ready. And this year has just been kind of everything that I've learned from juniors, taking that and putting it into the season.
Great job for Hudson Schwartz. Thank you so much, my friend. We are going to, I believe, see the 1-to-go sign next time by. 15 laps for the drivers in USF Juniors. Sebastian Weldon up on the wheel. He's trying to close up. He's 9 points behind McNeely. He has the fast lap of the race as well. McNeely, I don't know whether or not McNeely has the most laps led, but this is the battle right now for the race win. And they are digging hard, as is Christian Cameron trying to close up here on Jack Jeffers. In fact, Cameron is on Jeffers for P4. Christian Cameron looking to go to P4. He's currently 5th. White flag flying here at the start-finish line. Can Liam McNeely get it done? He's got enough of a gap coming up across start-finish. There will be no draft for him. Jeffers has got to watch out right now. He's got a couple of car lengths as well on Cameron. He'll make a move to the inside of the racetrack a little bit. Cameron trying around the outside. Not quite enough. Little lock up there further back for Ariel Elkin in 6th. Oh, wow. Contact between those two drivers. That was Cooley and a Scorpione. Cooley had to go over top of the curbing. So it could be another penalty for Cooley there. We'll see whether or not they decide to call that one. He had to get evasive maneuvers there. This is the lead. Big dive bomb down the bottom. Oh, man. Weldon threw it to the inside, shadowed at the entry of the corner, locked up the right front, but had to try to see if he could scare McNeely into a mistake. He does not make it down the back straightaway. Really only one more shot, and that would be the dive bomb to send it to the inside of turn number 10. He thinks about it. No, checks back up again, filling the mirrors of McNeely. Can he force him into a mistake into turn number 11 and 12? McNeely doesn't get a great run out of there. A little bit of a wiggle. This could be a drag race to the line. Can Weldon beat him at the line? Twin checkers out to cap off the 2024 season. And ladies and gentlemen, back to back jacks for Liam McNeely. 3 straight wins to cap off the season. He finishes 2nd in the championship. What a weekend for the British driver. I know it's probably what? I'm going to say 2 in the morning maybe, or midnight maybe, back home in England for Liam McNeely. I hope there's a bunch of people watching the broadcast because the kid has been impressive all weekend long. Is Liam McNeely ready for USF 2000? I think so. Jay Howard Driver Development finishing with 3 straight wins, 2 on the podium here as well, as G3 Argyros finishes 3rd, Sebastian Weldon in 2nd. So that's the way they'll finish, I believe, in the championship as well. Taylor, McNeely, and Weldon top 3 in the championship. Jack Jeffers holding off Christian Cameron on the last lap by 0.3 of a second. Jeffers, his best finish of the weekend in 4th. Christian Cameron 5th, Ariel Elkin 6th. Leonardo Scorpione, your pole sitter, coming back to 7th. Evan Cooley 8th. Diego Guillo 9th. And Joshua Leonel rounding out the top 10. There it is there for you. Hudson Schwartz, your first time watching from the broadcast booth. What are your thoughts on it?
That was a crazy race. A lot of action, lots of 3-4 wide going into one. Definitely a very interesting race, and probably one of the best this weekend. So, yeah, great race.
I challenge you guys to do better in the final USF 2000 race. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, we'll try to put on a show.
Where are you starting?
I'm not sure. They haven't put out the results yet for the starting lineup, but hopefully some are good.
Exactly that. Hey, listen, congratulations on all your success this year. Looking forward to what you do next year. Thanks again for joining me in the booth today.
Thank you for having me.
There he is, folks. Hudson Schwartz from Pabst Racing, an incredibly talented and obviously a fantastic speaker as well for 15 years of age. Great to have him here with us. We're going to, of course, kick down to look at the drivers finishing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd here today. And there he is, Liam McNeely. I'll tell you, like I said, there's not much more better you can do if you don't win the championship than win the 3 straight races. There it is, the 3. He told me this yesterday when he came off. I met him over at Victory Lane. He said, I want all 3. I want to sweep the weekend. McNeely got that job done for Jay Howard Driver Development. They put 2 drivers on the podium at G3 Argyros as well. Jack Jeffers P4 will lead the crew back to the paddock area. That is it for the season for USF Juniors. It blows my mind that, I look back when we started this particular program at NOLA Motorsports Park in April, and you think about these young drivers, and listen, I know I'll let him go. Hudson knows this because he was only 14, of course, getting young and getting into the program, and it's the whole deal that you watch them mature over the course of the season. It's amazing that even over a 6 month's time, the way they mature as drivers, the way they approach different races. I just always love seeing the kind of wide-eyed face of them when they're first starting a season and then what they're like at the end of the season. Battle-worn, if you will. But again, what a great season for USF Juniors. We're going to cap it all off as well. USF Pro 2000 coming up next. After I get down to Victory Lane and cap things off here for juniors, I'll run right back up to give you the driver lineup for the USF Pro 2000 category. 5 o'clock this afternoon. We'll cap off the season with USF 2000. But again, McNeely, Weldon, and Argyros, the 3 drivers heading to Victory Lane. And we'll head there right now. I'll pass it over to Phil Martelli, who's going to help me. He fills some space here while I get things ready to go down in Victory Circle. Again, big thank you to Hudson Schwartz. Time to go celebrate the final round of this year's USF Juniors Championship.
And Hudson, hey, congratulations. Listen to you, young man. For 15 years old, you got a great future. I have one question for you. You're 15. You talked about patience. you haven't even probably taken driver's ed yet. Are you going to have patience compared to this? It's going to be a whole different ballgame.
Yes, it's going to be a whole different ballgame, and yeah, I'm very excited.
All right. Congratulations,
Thank
young man. You got
really
a great
appreciate
future.
it. Thank you.
All right, let's head down to Victory Circle. Rob Howden with the celebration. Rob, take it away.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it. Let's get things underway. This is the capper of the USF Juniors Championship here for 2024. Started at NOLA Motorsports Park, Barber, you name it, all the racetracks we were able to visit on the way here to Portland to cap things off. 3 drivers did a tremendous job here, and of course we'll give a last shout out to Max Taylor for his championship in USF Juniors, sitting this one out to try to have a good run in USF 2000 this afternoon. So let's bring up the 3 drivers who were able to excel here in the afternoon. What a great race it was. Finishing in 3rd spot today for Jay Howard Driver Development, G3 Argyros. Nice job for G3. Grab that trophy. Finishing in 2nd spot, he'll finish 3rd overall in the championship. It is Sebastian Weldon for VRD Racing, 2nd today in the final race of the season. As I said in the broadcast, if you can't win the championship, you might as well win all 3 races in the finale. What a drive for this British pilot, folks. What an incredible performance for Jay Howard Driver Development. Back-to-back jacks for Liam McNeely. Liam, I know we kept it kind of quiet. You told me yesterday after you won 2, you go, I have to win 3. I have to win tomorrow. It means a lot to you, I'm sure, to be able to come in. You didn't get the championship, but to win all 3 here in Portland, that's got to be big.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, if you can't win the championship, you might as well just end out the season in style. So, yeah, I think we've done that and, show what we can bring into next year.
I think the big thing was you guys were good in all different conditions as well. Can you talk about that, the way the car kept, it doesn't matter what it was, you guys were able to get to the front.
Yeah, the team done a mega job this weekend. Any conditions they've that was thrown at us, we conquered it. So, yeah, big thanks to them, and, we'll roll on next year now.
Anybody else you want to thank? We cap off the season with this?
Yeah, just my mom and dad, obviously, out this year, first time. So yeah, and obviously the team as well, Joe, everyone behind the scenes that's made this possible. Can't thank them enough.
Congratulations. Get on top of the podium for the third time here this weekend. Leah McNeely, folks, another victory, 3 wins on the weekend, swept it here at USF Juniors. And like you said, USF 2000 next year, this is going to be a guy to watch as a potential rookie champion in 2025. We hope to see all 3 of these drivers next year at USF 2000 for sure. The champagne coming in. Again, as I said, USF Pro 2000 drivers get ready to roll as well. We're going to go right into the next event, back-to-back mains here to cap off both of these championships. Guys, let's wrap up the season. You don't wait to wear those suits again. Grip it and rip it. Let's have some celebration. Yeah, G3 knows what to do. They don't have to wear these suits again until off-season testing. So the spray coming, champagne is done, and that caps off the 2024 USF Juniors Championship. Liam McNeely, 3 wins to cap off the season. He ends up finishing second overall in the championship. Of course, another kudos, as I had said, for Max Taylor, locking that championship up already here and capping off a fantastic season for that VRD driver. But for Liam McNeely to go back to the front as he did, dominant factor all weekend long here in Portland. McNeely for Jay Howard Driver Development getting yet another win. And we look forward to seeing what he's able to do in 2025 when he moves up the level to the USF 2000 category. Again, as we said, folks, USF Pro 2000 drivers were a couple minutes away from getting them fired up as well. I'll head back up to the tower, and when I do, we'll give you the driver lineup for the top level of the USF Pro Championship ladder system for their final race of the 2024 season.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
championship fight again here this year, his second year in USF Pro 2000. Like I said, so many of these drivers up front have earned their stripes to move to USF Pro 2000 next year. Johnson, Hughes, Denmark, Sykes. I think we'll see Mossman back in USF Pro 2000 next year, which I think will be a good move for him. He's really kind of improved over the second half of the season. I think it'd be big for Mossman to come back potentially as one of your championship contenders. Would love to see Liam Skeets back again, but I would expect him to try to put together a next program if possible. Cooper Beckman didn't even run the full season. Portland driver, man, I would love to see him get a full season here. He's really stepped things up. We'll get an opportunity here to talk about the local driver. Cooper Beckman made his debut at the Road America triple header. Missed St. Pete, NOLA, Indianapolis, and of course the Oval as well. But really dialed things into Toronto in the street circuit there. As he was able to, didn't qualify particularly well, but again, that's a track he was learning for the first time on a street circuit in the USF Pro 2000 car. In the race, he ended up working his way forward, turning the fastest lap of the race. That gave him a better starting spot for race number 2, and he was running in the top 5 before a late race incident took him out of the event, so really showed well there. And of course, Beckman finishing 10th place in race number 1 here this weekend. Definitely has picked things up, but the development curve, the learning curve, although rather steep, he is really starting to, again, get a good handle on it. Currently running in the 8th spot here behind Garcia Arce. I said before, USF 2000 capping things off. 6:05 green flag this afternoon, so perfect opportunity if you want to beat the traffic to hang out here and enjoy yourself and cap off the weekend, at least cap off a Saturday, the weekend for us in the USF Pro Championship for the USF 2000 race, which I guarantee you will be an epic one. With the championship already on the line like it is for this one, those drivers are probably going to be sending it, if you will, because they're going to cap off the season in style, just like Liam McNeely did USF Juniors with 3 straight wins. This one kind of settling in. Not a lot of battles on the racetrack. In USF Juniors, we saw those little groupings of 3 and 4 cars kind of running together. And that may be a little bit due to the fact that when I talked about USF Juniors and the less amount of aerodynamic downforce that is built into these cars and the aerodynamic package, a lot more aerodynamic downforce in the USF Pro 2000 cars. So they are going to suffer a little bit of that aero wash when you're up under the wing of someone. You're trying to get that run off the corner, especially the long duration corners. You start losing the air off the front wing, which means you lose that downforce in front of the car. And in the start, as you're putting a lot of wheel in it, you really got a lot of input turning to the wheel. It starts to understeer, to push to the corner, snowplow, if you will. You're not able to get back to power as quickly. It is very tough to make a pass here on some of these corners. If you're going to lose aero coming through this corner here in a big way, turn 12. Glenn Van Berlo is the one that's lining things up right now. He's trying to find a way by Frankie Mossman. Didn't get a good run out of turn 12 that last time, but it's closed up. That's the battle right now for 5th spot. One of the things we mentioned a little bit as well for all of these drivers, we talked about it in USF Juniors, is the fact that IndyCar qualifying once again was out onto the racetrack. They put a bunch of rubber down. Anytime one of our categories comes out onto the track, it's normally in an evolving situation. The track continues to change because if you're out there before IndyCar, it's going to feel a bit different. They put a lot more rubber down again, and the track's going to get a little grippier. If it's a super hot day, it might be greasy as well. It might get slippery. But every time they come out the first couple of laps, when you're at speed, you usually go green the first time by, so it's kind of a reconnaissance lap, feeling out the racetrack. But the first couple laps at speed, your tires aren't even up to tire pressure. They've not got the right tire temperature, tire pressure. So you have to try to figure the track out. How much more grip do I have? How much more can I roll into a corner based on IndyCar rubber? Every session a little bit different for these drivers as they work their way up the ladder. These racers here at USF Pro 2000 just 2 steps away from IndyCar. Drivers who have had success in this program in the last 6 years, of course. You go back to Rinus VK winning the championship, then Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, all 4 of those drivers in IndyCar. Louis Foster winning the championship in 2022. Now leading the points in Indy next. Miles Rowe, the driver we expect to make it to IndyCar. He'll be, I think, a strong contender next year in USF, or rather in Indy next, where he has his 2nd year of the program. I like Simon Sykes coming up on Chase Denmark here as well. Those are the 2 teammates battling it out. But again, as we say, they run on the racetrack here right now, coming up to the 1/3 mark in a little bit here. Nikita Johnson looking to try to steal 2nd place away from Chase Denmark. Did not have a good run yesterday. Actually, it was probably the worst run he could have had. Had an issue at the start. Ended up going down a lap, but just nothing ever played right for Jason that one. This is Van Berlo again. Look at the over-under. Van Berlo trying to find a way by Mossman. Almost side-by-side coming out of the corner. Van Berlo again pushing Mossman. And the key here is applying consistent pressure. There's only really a couple places to overtake, but if you continue to apply that pressure, you can force a driver into a mistake. That's one of the big things about this track here at Portland. You have to apply relentless pressure. Fill those mirrors. So all you need is that little mistake. You need a little wheel coming through 10, 11, and 12. Maybe you drop a wheel. Maybe you just have to crack the throttle a bit so you get the better run. Van Berlo putting all the pressure on Mossman. That's for P5. Top 5 of the championship. Hughes, Denmark, Johnson, Sykes, and Skeets. Hughes with 369 points. Denmark with 326. Just 3 points back from Denmark. Nikita Johnson, who leads the way, like I said, trying to steal 2nd away. Simon Sykes with 250 points. Well back of that battle. But Sykes just 3 points ahead of Liam Skeets. Although remember, Liam had that issue going off the track. He's now 14th, so Simon Sykes looks like he is in a position to potentially hold on to P4. And listen, you look back, and it's Hughes, Sykes, and Johnson. Those 3 drivers here were the guys that were winning races last year in USF 2000. That's the beauty of this. They've come up here as rookies and have done well. Now, Denmark not considered a rookie as another Nikita Johnson, as he did run the last couple of races of the year. In fact, scored a win in his very debut weekend in USF Pro when he won at the Circuit of the Americas last August. So he's been winning races out of the gates. Expecting Nikita, of course, to move up into the Indy Next Series next year, as we know that's going to happen with Lockett Hughes with his scholarship. Chase Denmark focusing on that jump as well. For Simon Sykes to do the best he can to make that move up into the category, but if he does come back for USF Pro 2000 next year, wow, Sykes to be a driver to watch for sure. Championship last year in USF 2000, of course, would love to get another one to continue that career. And Simon Sykes driving that scholarship livery car, not the same as the other cars in the Pabst stable that you'll see across the USF 2000, USF Pro 2000 ranks with the black car and the Pabst logo. He's got the scholarship colors on the car, and the number 1 for winning that USF 2000 scholarship last year. He's a driver that, again, career looked like it was almost done. We talked to him before. He said it had not been for Augie Pabst putting him in the USF 2000 car last year, his career was pretty much done. If he didn't win the championship last year, wouldn't have had the money to make the move up. He said he'd be looking for another occupation. And I don't believe that, because he's got a lot of talent, probably could have moved his way into sports car racing. But Simon Sykes was able to step up in that battle. Look at this scrap here right now. That's Van Berlo all over the gearbox of Frankie Mossman. But again, that little bit of understeer coming out of the corner. George Garcia-Arce closing up on those drivers. He was 3/10 quicker last time by. So Garcia-Arce in the D-Force Racing number 10 up on the wheel. Oh, a little lock up there for Van Berlo, but he knows it. He knows he's got to try to make a pass here pretty soon. But to put a cap on that comment on Simon Sykes, got the opportunity after kind of running partial seasons, a race here and a race there in USF 2000. Got an opportunity to run for Pabst Racing, delivered Augie Pabst his first driver championship at USF 2000. The scholarship allowed him to come up here to USF Pro, and when you get to this level of the competition, the top level of our ladder system, I think a lot more people, take notice of what you're doing. Obviously, you're 2 steps away from IndyCar. They're really looking at you to try to rate you what they think could happen in the future of the program. I think Simon, who's done so well this year, a couple of wins at this level of competition, competition. All right, let's have a look at Van Berlo. This is going to be the move here. He gets to the inside on. Yeah, he'll make the move to the bottom. Beautiful pass. Glenn Van Berlo able to go by for P5. He hounded Mossman lap after lap after lap. A better run out of turn number 7. Tossed it to the inside and really committed to the pass inside of turn number 10. It's a lot tighter in there. You have to kind of woe the car a little more to make that corner. But was able to get the pass done. And Bobby, I'll tell you, bring you in just for a second to get your thoughts on this race. Again, not the same kind of wheel-to-wheel action. This is the top level of the competition, but these guys are all so good, and that's really what we're talking about here.
Absolutely. Like you said, 2 steps away from being in the NTT IndyCar Series, but man, this has been a battle start to finish. I've loved every ounce of this racing because I love when guys, and we talked about it yesterday, it's not necessarily the car setup, it's their raw talent. It's what's getting them to that next level. And these guys know where to pass, and they are using their machines to the best of their ability. This pass that we just saw again for what was the second or third, amazing pass. Guy waited, found the right moment when the guy in front of him made a tiny mistake and was able to pounce on it.
This could be the next one here, the battle potentially between Simon Sykes and Jace Denmark. A lot of times in this category, we're looking more at lap times compared to just the battles on the racetrack, because a lot of these drivers are a tenth quicker. It may take them 10 laps to get that second, but they're consistently getting faster and faster. So Mossman holding on to 6, right behind him, George Garcia Arce. And then this next battle here right now is Danny Jarzhelski's been able to get by Cooper Becklin. So Jarzhelski up into 8th, Becklin back into 9th, and Noah Ping right there as well. Up front, Nikita Johnson out by 0.8 of a second. He was actually, the lap before, he was about 0.3 quicker, so it was a half a second, but he gapped him back up to 0.8 of a second. Johnson over Hughes. Sykes definitely closing up on Denmark, but again, once you get too close, you'll get that arrow wash. Look at this group at the tail of the field, too, getting at it. Vitulio, Montiero, Escoto, Skeets. At the halfway point of this one here, when they come back around, lap 15 will go in the books. 15 laps more to go for USF Pro 2000. 6:05 green flag for USF 2000 this afternoon. Early evening to cap off Saturday and cap off our entire program that started back at St. Petersburg in early March. Pro drivers in St. Petersburg. To Nola Motorsports Park in April, all 3 series there. That tough racetrack. From there to the road course of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 2 weeks later, out onto the Oval for the Carbonite Classic and the Freedom 90 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. That event won by Exclusive Autosport once again with Braden Eves. Braden, of course, running out of the finances needed to continue. Stopped his program. We would love to see Braden Eves back in our program again in the future. But to be honest, the skill and talent that Braden has, experience he has, really his next program, if it's going to be open wheels, should be Indy next. He's got what it takes to do that. He's a former USF 2000 champion, Braden Eves, so either next or somewhere to accomplish the sports car racing. From the Oval, we headed to Road America. Fantastic facility, as we all know, America's National Park of Speed. Headed to Mid-Ohio on the July 4th weekend. Mid-July to the streets of Toronto, the Honda Indy Toronto. They've been waiting patiently to get back onto the racetrack here. Cap it all off in Portland. We know Lucky Hughes won in Toronto. A key victory for him to develop the gap that he needed in terms of being able to come into this race with lots of cushion. Hughes winning on both of these street circuits this year, scored the opening round of the year, the victory at St. Petersburg, then won the back end of the doubleheader in Toronto. Currently running in that second spot, 7/10 back. He has not yet given up. There he is there, trying to catch up to Nikita Johnson. There's your leaders coming through turn number 8 and 9. Down the back straight to 10. 7/10 of a second last time by. And again, here we're into the second half of the race. So how well have you taken care of your tires throughout this weekend? Obviously, did you hold a fresh set? Did you have a sticker set for this race? It's 30 laps long. IndyCar rubber going down, as I had said. Tire pressures now up to where they need to be. Tire temps where they need to be. Of course, the fuel load going down, so the cars are going to get quicker and quicker. Simon Sykes with a really big run on his teammate Denmark. closes it within a car length. Simon Sykes trying to get back up onto the podium. And as they run on the racetrack, Simon Sykes would firm up that 4th place in the points over Liam Skeets. Danny Dashelski, who is now running in 8th, trying to get enough points to move ahead of Christian Brooks. Christian had a great season, was likely in the position to run for the championship, but skipped Toronto and has, of course, skipped Portland. That allowed Glenn Van Berlo to take his spot. Christian, of course, focusing on the Indy Next Series. He'll be full-time in Indy Next in 2025 with an eye focused firmly on the NTT IndyCar Series. Sykes has not given up at all, trying to find a way by his teammate Chase Denmark. Yeah, this is a really big run here for Sykes. Very close coming out of 12. There's Van Berlo, but let's pick this up. P1 to P2, clean through 1 and 2. And Sykes again right there, but just not quite enough to make the move into turn number 1. And again, it's so hard when you lose that arrow off the front wing coming through really turn 11 and 12. I mean, it's not like you can really take a different line through that corner to make sure you have a little bit of air flowing over the front wing to keep that front end planted. And the other thing when you do that, right there, you start to really wear those front tires. The more that car is pushing, the more you're into the corner, getting that mid-corner power on understeer, you start to burn those front tires up. And you can see right now that Sykes really hustling the car around. Mid-corner oversteer coming out of turn number 6, oversteer coming out of turn number 7, really trying to get that power down. And that happens a lot when you start to burn those tires off and you're into the corner. You're really turning the wheel a bit more because, of course, you know you've lost a bit of the front. And once the car does bite, it wants to spin back around a little bit. You have a lot of wheel on it. The minute the front tires bite, the rear end comes around. Unnerving for a driver for sure, and it doesn't produce fast lap times. 19 laps down, 11 to go. I don't think we're done with battles for P1 and 2 or 3 or 4. Van Berlo all by himself now in 5th spot. 6th, Mossman alone. 7th, Dashelski. I think the best battle we got right now, honestly, is 13th, 14th, 15th, or 12th, 13th, 14th. Liam Skeets just got by Alessandro Tullio, Ricardo Scotto right there. So Liam Skeets leads the 2 BN racing drivers. Right there, and in fact, it looked to me like the Tullio may have got back around. Yeah, there's the Tullio there. He's got back around Skeets. Unless that's Ping, Becklin, and Montiero. No, that's Ping. They just went by there. There's Montiero. There's Ping, Becklin, Montiero. Then the next trio of Alessandro Tullio, Liam Skeets, and Ricardo Scotto. A BN sandwich there. Bookending Liam Skeets. Going to cap off. It's been a good year for Liam. Liam Skeets came over here for the very first time. Doesn't know any of the racetracks. Learning the team. Had a strong run as the runner-up in this year's Formula Regional Oceania Championship, one of our partners here, the USF Pro Championships. He's got a big run here. Way wide run. Can he come across the bow? Not quite enough. Thinking about making a big run around the outside, almost side by side with the Tullio down into the braking zone. But again, we've talked about the fact that if you don't make it over to the turn 2 apex and go to the right side or left side of that, you don't make the corner, then it's a drive-through penalty. So drivers have all done a good job in checking back up. You essentially have to think in your mind that there's a wall right there or a gravel trap. You can't go off the track. Over the last couple of years, if you watch any of the videos of the races we've had here at Portland, essentially the common approach to that corner was if you're one of the first 5 drivers or even 4, you try to make the corner. Anybody else, you check up a little bit and then drive straight through. You drive straight through, oh, I couldn't make the corner, or you do the chicane, which brings you out in front of a number of drivers. It's definitely the faster way through. USF Race Control shutting that down here this year. You have to make the turn 2 corner, or It's a drive-through penalty. And guess what? Somehow the drivers have been able to make that corner. Shocker. There's that fight again for third. Jace Denmark holding P3. Simon Sykes in that fourth spot, pushing hard to get back up on the podium. He does have, I believe, as they run on the racetrack, P4 in the championship locked. Good stuff till coming here this afternoon. We're all said and done with USF Pro 2000. We'll see which of the drivers who have graduated out of USF Pro 2000 can potentially work their way to the top of the charts in Indy next qualifying. Lee Foster's been fast, our 2022 champion. IndyCar final practice, of course, at 5:15 as well. This one settling into a battle, not with near the chaos or excitement that we've had throughout the weekend. But you can see how the drivers have gapped in a big way. And a little bit a look at kind of the haves and the have-nots. It's all more about, hey, you know what, you have to get the setup bang on here. Of course, the drivers have a lot to do with it, but getting the setup right, man, it's so tough on a track like this. VRD's had a great weekend. Winning, of course, the championship at USF Juniors. Already a victory for Nikita Johnson. Again, looking to see if he can't come home as a winner to move to second in the championship battle with Jace Denmark right there, his teammate Simon Sykes behind him. Sykes continues to push. He would like to get on that podium once again to cap off the season. Seven laps to go, 7 remaining. Sykes, man, he's been relentless with the pressure. He's been a car length, 2, maybe 3, 4 max, closes right back up. Sometimes I think we pull him back a little bit, trying to cool those front tires, give them some air, allow that downforce to plant in front of that car in some of these long duration corners. Here's your leader, Nikita Johnson. Doing double duty since turning 16 years of age. Needed to be 16 to be able to run in the GB3 category. He's been running GB3 over in Europe, as well as running here in USF Pro 2000. Unsure of his plans for next year, whether or not we see him go to Indy next and focus fully on Europe, we'll see. Sykes and Denmark not done. It's a great family team at Pabst Racing. I can probably say that of a lot of the organizations, almost all the organizations, that you'll talk to the drivers and they'll say it's truly a family under the tent. When you toil 6 months of competition, not to mention all the testing through off-season, all the work that's done in the shop, it really is a family team. And Bobby, that's one of the big things about our program. You talk to any one of these drivers, they'll say, man, it's a family. They barbecue together, and sometimes they vacation together, you work together, but you share the ups and downs of the sport together, right? You'll see when we come to Victory Lane, everybody kind of shows up. The family shows up, all the other drivers show up. And again, we see that a lot over at the banquet as well. Everybody comes together at the end of the season.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys throw actually one amazing party at the end of the year. But you're right, it is a family. And you spend the 6 months competing. You're on the road constantly. You're flying. You're traveling. You're driving. You probably have your same routine that you try to follow and ride maybe the track with the same people, because it just gets into such a comfort zone, and that's what racing really is. It's a comfort zone among a giant family.
You saw it right there. Simon Sykes finally getting the job done. Got the run out of turn number 12, pulled to the inside, and took over the apex of turn number 1. Simon Sykes has worked his way into the 3rd spot. Sykes digging, gets himself up to P3. I'll look at lap times. There's 5 to go. Coming across the line, they were 4.6 seconds behind Lockheed Hughes. I don't know that they're going to have enough speed, because Johnson at 108.8. Lockie Hughes 108.7. His fastest lap. He's got the fast lap of the race. 108.9 last time by for Johnson. 108.8 for Hughes. 109.3 for Denmark. We'll see whether or not they have anything for him. Denmark trying to fight back his turn to work in that draft a little bit. There's Glenn Van Berlo all by himself, and again, a really impressive weekend for Glenn Van Berlo. Again, out of a sports car into this very nimble USF Pro 2000 tennis machine at Toronto. The debut on the streets of Toronto. Throw yourself into a cage match for the first time. Showed incredible speed, didn't have the luck to get the results I think that he wanted, but the speed was there for Van Berlo. Back in the car again here at Portland. Strong run here in the top 5 by Frankie Mossman. Mossman 6, Garcia 7th, Jashelski 8th, Ping 9th, Monteiro 10th. Cooper Beckman now in 11th. Simon Sykes again leading the way, finally able to get by. To go. Johnson across the line. Yeah, almost a full second out of Lockie Hughes. Yeah, Simon Sykes about 3/10 off of the leader. He's 2/10 quicker than Denmark, so he's got himself about a half a second gap on Denmark. But he's not fast enough to catch this lead duo. And really, if you look at the season, these two drivers have kind of dominated things. 5 wins on the season for Lockie Hughes. 7, could be 8 here for Chase Denmark. Lockie Hughes looks like he's rolling up here a bit. Indeed he is. 2 to go when they come back across the line. Lockie Hughes is closing. Okay, does Hughes have anything here at the end? How much quicker did he go? 4/10 of a second. Oh, let's get at it here. Lockie Hughes closing up. I talked about it in the pre-race show. You know he's out there just trying to get a good result, but he obviously wants to win. He mentioned this, and it's interesting. His final race for Turn 3 Motorsports. He'll, of course, move on to the Indy Next Series in 2025. Turn 3 does not have that program, so coming to Turn 3 Motorsports, part of that family, Peter Mandy Dempsey and the whole crew. His last race for Turn 3, and he would, of course, love to bring him a victory, so keep digging. Was it just a little minor bobble for Nikita Johnson, or is he having any kind of issues? Are the tires going away? Lockie closing up, not within a half a second. White flag will fly this next time by. It'll be 1 to go for USF Pro 2000 and their whole 2024 season. So they got Tanner DeFavis up the road a little bit here. I think Lockie would like to have been a little bit closer coming out of 12. Still a significant gap as the white flag has been thrown here at start-finish. Oh, he's within a leg. Oh, but he almost throws it off. Oh, Lockie. I'll give it to Lockie. He rolled that in there with, I think, a bit of trail brake. And you see the nose charging left and right. Look how much exhaust come through there. Yeah, he definitely gave it. He tried to send it in there to see if he could close it up enough. But again, not quite enough. I like the fact that he made a bid for it, though. Respect there. But again, Nikita Johnson throughout this season has definitely showed the talent that he has had. Again, he won in his debut last year at the Circuit of the Americas. Full-time USF 2000 driver last year. Ran the pro race when USF 2000 wasn't in the event in Austin. Won there. His 8th win on the season. Line it up here. He's got to just navigate a couple of more corners. Yeah, 2 talented drivers that we're going to see working their way up the ranks, folks. A great run here for Nikita Johnson. He will go back-to-back jacks, winning both main events here. The Grand Prix of Portland. Lockie Hughes, second in his final USF Pro 2000 race. Simon Sykes, a race-long attack on Chase Denmark. He comes home to finish on third, the final spot on the podium. Denmark in the fourth position. Fifth goes to Glenn Van Berlo. And how about a green and checker race as well? No issues in the final run for USF Pro 2000. That's what we expect from the best drivers. The spotlight talent we have in this program: Johnson, Hughes, Sykes, Denmark, Van Berlo. Frankie Mossman held on to sixth. George Garcia-Arce in seventh. The remainder of the field still cruising around to get those final twin checkers from Aaron Likens, the stylist, on the flag stand. I have had the privilege of watching Aaron for over 15 years. This guy, and to see him up on the tower as the chief starter for the NTT IndyCar Series in the Indianapolis 500 just does my heart good. Throw this out here right now. If you're watching online or if you're trackside, the starter with that flair is also a writer. Check out his book, Playing in Traffic. It's a fantastic book, a lot to learn. I just want to throw that out there. I'm not sure if anybody's talking about it on the weekend, but Aaron Likens, a published author, Playing in Traffic. I think you can get it at the track here where you buy all your IndyCar gear, the merchandise truck. Amazing book. But folks, there you go. There's your unofficial results. Nikita Johnson with the win. Two big victories on the weekend for Nikita. Lockie Hughes coming home in second. Simon Sykes in third. There's your podium. VRD, Turn 3, Pabst on the podium. Johnson's win is going to move him up to second place in the championship points as well. Chase Denmark, P4, will finish third. We'll celebrate both of those drivers. All three of them, actually, Hughes, Johnson, and Denmark, tomorrow night at the championship celebration. Glenn Van Berlo, a successful finish to his 4-race campaign here, coming to join us in the USF Pro Championship. He finishes in fifth. Frankie Mossman, sixth spot after a podium yesterday. Strong finish for Frankie. George Garcia-Arce, great run for George to work his way up into seventh. Danny Dashelski in eighth spot. Ninth goes to Noah Ping in his debut weekend here this year. Nicholas Montiero coming home in 10th. 11th goes to the local driver Cooper Becklin. TJ Speed 11th and 12th with Liam Skeets. Liam had that issue where he had to go off track early. He was able to get 4 spots coming back, passing both Ricardo Escoto and Alessandro Rotulio. Tyke Durst finishing in 15th and Tanner DeFavis in the 16th spot. Nikita Johnson rolling down pit lane. This is what you want to do at the end of a race, folks. Be the driver who gets to pull up to the very front of pit lane. You want to have that camera right in front of you. That means you've had a good day. Nikita Johnson, 8 wins on the season. And I'll tell you this right now, he's going to keep winning. There it is. Excellent job for Nikita Johnson. He says 9 wins. One of those wins was taken from him for a technical disqualification. 8 wins, though, on the year, officially. Nikita Johnson, talented driver for sure. I'm telling you, all 3 of these top guys here, the top 3 on the podium, the top 3 in the points, throwing Simon Sykes in there as well, all deserving of a chance to go Indy Next Racing. We know Lockie Hughes will do that with the scholarship. We hope to see Nikita Johnson do that in 2025 as well. Crew going to work their way off there. We obviously have to vacate. We've got the drivers and the crews of Indy Next coming out for their qualifying session. We're going to go down to Victory Lane, ladies and gentlemen. We'll cap off the 2024 season of USF Pro 2000 action. Our final Victory Lane celebrations. We will chat with Nikita Johnson and provide trophies for Johnson, Hughes, and Sykes. I'll be right back.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from
All right, let's head down to Victory Circle and Rob Howden, take it away.
Thank you, Bobby. Let's cap things off right here for the 2024 season of USF Pro 2000 competition. Again, the season starting off at St. Petersburg, 6 months to get us here to Portland. And again, these talented drivers, as I always say, just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. We are going to graduate some talented drivers into Indy Next in 2025. Let's start out with a fight that we saw, really one of the best battles on the track. This driver pushed hard to try to get to P3, was able to get the job done. Finishing in 3rd spot today, folks, from Pabst Racing, Simon Sykes. For Simon, big year here last year, winning the championship at USF 2000. Great job on the season. 4th place overall in the points for Simon. Great job there. Yesterday, we had a chance to celebrate this driver as the new champion of USF Pro 2000. He'll go Indy Next Racing for sure this year. His swan song race here for Turn 3 Motorsport comes home 2nd. Put your hands together for the champion, Lockie Hughes. Good job, Lockie. He may not come home as a champion, folks, but the victories kept racking up. One of the most amazing young talents in American open wheel racing right now for VRD Racing. He wins yet again. Put your hands together for Nikita Johnson. I know winners win, right? And you guys just keep winning. What a great race for you. Let's talk about first how important it is to get another victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to get my 9th victory on track. It's just good to keep stacking these wins up. Even though we couldn't get the championship because of an up and down season, we won, the most by a little bit. But, just can't thank the VRD boys enough. Just car was just on rails.
Let's talk about that race. You were good. Was it sliding around at the end? Lockie started to get a little bit close. Were you working those tires or what?
Yeah, I was working them. I was pretty consistent the whole race. I was looking at my dash, and I was within like a 10th or 2 every lap. So I knew I just needed to stay consistent. At the very end, I had a little mistake where I denied a downshift, and that's when Lockie caught me about, I think, 5 car lengths. And then after that, I was kind of sending it just to make sure I could bring it home first.
End of the 2024 season, can you give us any indication of where we're going to see you in 2025?
I'm not sure. Hopefully everywhere. So, if any IndyCar teams or anybody in F3 or GB3 want to give me a shot, I'm open to drive anything. I'm a wheelman. I know dirt, so I like to send it.
You do. Congratulations. Anybody else you want to thank to cap off the season?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody from VRD, my mechanic Hugo, Dan Mitchell, Jacob Loomis, everybody on just all the English boys that's coming over to help out every weekend. My mom, my dad, Kai for being here, always supporting me and coming to most of the racetracks. All my sponsors for making this happen, and just everybody back home in North Carolina and Florida watching.
Congratulations, Nikita. Get up on top of the podium. Another win, folks. 8, as he had said, 8 wins. Great job for him. 2nd place in the points. Able to take over 2nd with performance here today as well. Nikita Johnson is a driver we're going to be watching in 2025 and beyond. And as I always say, these drivers just 2 steps away from IndyCar, ladies and gentlemen. Lockie Hughes will be at Indy next year. We'll see what happens potentially with Simon Sykes, a great driver of his own right. Of course, winning the championship last year in USF 2000. Multi-time winner this year at USF Pro as well. And I always like to say, when we have so many quality teams in this program, 3 different teams on the podium here today: VRD Racing, Turn 3 Motorsports, and Pabst Racing, your team champions for 2024 on the podium. Guys, for the last time in 2024, grip it and rip it, champagne spraying. These guys know how to get the job done. They've been on the podium before. They'll go after Lockie a little. Oh yeah, Simon's going hard after Lockie Hughes to winning the championship. So, folks, there you go. We wrap up the season of USF Pro 2000 competition. Again, our job is to put talented drivers into the Indy Next Series. We are going to do that yet again. Lots of these great drivers going to Indy Next in 2025. I believe we got a shoey coming right now. There it is, the champagne bottle going into the shoe for Lockie Hughes. There you go, the champion for 2024, Lockie Hughes, and the infamous shoey. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in here. One more race to go here on the YouTube channel. We have the drivers of USF 2000 capping off their 2024 season at 6:05 this evening here in Portland. Thanks for tuning into this one. We hope to see you back for one more race here to cap off this year's calendar. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tires, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.